Boom. 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 China, a dormitory of Jiangbei University. Outside the door, a large group of people slapped the door crazily. Inside the door, Xiao Zhan was shocked. God thief, are you playing with me? I just won the 100 million lottery, so why don't you give me a doom? Xiao Zhan's desire to die is all there, and he has finally stepped on luck in his life. Before he had time to enjoy it, he came to the door when he lost it. Damn, it's all dead, fight it. Gritted his teeth, Xiao Zhan grabbed a baseball bat, planning to fight to the death. Bang bang bang. Loss and grumpiness outside the door panel is about to be smashed. Xiao Zhan squeezed his club, cold sweat. Ding! Just then, a mechanical sound rang. It is detected that the host meets the conditions of the activation system, and the God-level phishing system is activated, 10%, 30%. Ding! The binding is successful, and the host can start using the phishing system. Is it a system? Xiao Zhan was startled for a moment, then he was ecstatic. As a new century, a good boy who keeps up with the trend of the times, who has not read a few systematic novels. So Xiao Zhan is no stranger to the system. Doomsday Plus system. This is a golden finger routine only found in novels. I didn't expect that I could encounter such a good thing, and my family's ancestral grave must have smoked again. Lao Tzu. This is the rhythm to rise. For a while, Xiao Zhan felt some tears in his eyes, and he knew that God still loves him. 80 million changes to a system that is against the sky, you can dominate in the end times, this deal is too worthwhile. In the past few days, Xiao Zhan's bad emotions caused by 80 million banknotes turned into waste paper have been wiped out, replaced by excitement and ecstasy. His heart is about to jump. Try to calm himself down, Xiao Zhan started to communicate with the system. System, what is God-level phishing, and what can you do? Respected host, God-level phishing. After a quick self-introduction of the system, after a minute, Xiao Zhan had a general understanding of the God-level phishing system. Took a deep breath, Xiao Zhan couldn't hide his excitement. Because, this God-level phishing system is really too bad. As long as there is enough energy value, you can go for unlimited phishing. The energy value can be exchanged through 3 constant currencies, silver, gold, and diamonds. As for the items that can be obtained by phishing, it's almost exploding. As long as the weapons that have appeared on the blue star, all of them can be obtained by phishing, and they are all enhanced versions, and their power has been increased several times at least, and they have bonus damage to zombies. In addition, there are also a variety of body-strengthening medicines, fruits, medical supplies, food, biochemical protective clothing, biochemical tanks, fighters, battleships, and even fully armed biochemical fighters. Anyone who has played the zombie game should know what a fully armed biochemical warrior is. This kind of warrior is simply a bulldozer that slaughters zombies. Ha ha ha. Xiao Zhan couldn't help but laughed, laughing from ear to ear. This God-level phishing system is simply tailor-made for him in the doomsday. With a thought, Xiao Zhan opened the system panel, and a translucent screen that only he could see appeared in front of him, with a bunch of data on it. Name, Xiao Zhan age, 20 strength, 1 agility, 1 energy value, 0 note, energy value can be exchanged in 3 constant currencies, silver, gold, and diamond. 1 gram of silver can be exchanged for 1 energy value, 1 gram of gold can be exchanged for 10 energy points, and 1 gram of diamond can be exchanged for 100 energy points. When he saw the data in the power bar and agility bar, Xiao Zhan looked dazed. What? His strength and agility are the weakest among ordinary people? Xiao Rishan refused to accept it. Xiao Zhan was full of resentment. The system gave him too weak a judgment, right? He is the man who ran 1,000 meters for 8 minutes. Okay, Xiao Zhan admits that he is weak. Xiao Zhan's gaze shifted down, and when he saw the energy value bar, the smile on his face instantly froze. According to the routine and initially binding the system, shouldn't you give away tens of thousands of energy points? There are no tens of thousands of points, hundreds of points are fine. What the is this Nima 0 o'clock? System, is this the rhythm that makes him run smoothly? Although the end of the world has come, silver, gold, and diamonds have become worthless things. No one picks them up and no one looks at them when they are thrown on the street. But in this environment, 5 extremely vicious reeded zombies are crashing frantically. The door, at most a few minutes, the dormitory door will be smashed. He is blocked in the dormitory. Where can I get silver, gold, and diamonds to exchange energy values? Even if there is a place to get it, there is no time. I thought that wearing gold fingers against the sky would usher in the brightest moments of life, treating the end of the world as a back garden, going wild, and using my sister to farm as a salted fish, but I didn't expect this to be the result. There is no energy value. This system is not as useful as the tens of millions of banknotes piled in the corner. At least those tens of millions of banknotes can still be seen with your eyes, and your eyes are full. This system is really useless. Xiao Zhan wanted to cry without tears, and he felt a sense of emptiness and nowhere to fire a gun. Nima, what a bad system, it makes Lao Tzu happy for nothing, and in the end, I have to rely on Lao Tzu to do zombies by himself. Xiao Zhan yelled angrily. Yu reading www.yunjia.com clenched the baseball bat again, preparing to fight the 5 zombies to the death when he broke the door. Ding! Congratulations to the host, this is the first time to use the God-level fishing system and get a fishing opportunity. Do you start fishing? At this moment, a mechanical voice rang in Xiao Zhan's mind. Fish him! Xiao Zhan was overjoyed. Without hesitation, he chose to go fishing. He knew that God really loves him. A blue light flashed in front of Xiao Zhan, and a vast ocean appeared in front of him. In the ocean, various fish creatures are swimming, big and small like ants, and big like mountains. These fish creatures have one thing in common. Above each head, there is a question mark floating. Another light flashed before Xiao Zhan, and a sea fishing rod appeared in his hand. Dear host, you can start fishing now. The sound of system machinery resounded in Xiao Zhan's mind again. Xiao Zhan couldn't wait to throw his rod and started fishing. The cracks on the door are getting bigger and bigger, and 5 zombies are about to rush in. He doesn't have much time. When you get a big product, you must get a big product, don't be tasteless. Anxiously waiting for the fish to take the bait, Xiao Zhan prayed silently in his heart. Buzzing! After a brief and nervous and anxious wait, the buoy suddenly sank, the fishing line was pulled straight, trembling violently, and even the fishing rod was bent. It's on sale! Xiao Zhan's eyes were glowing with heat, and he was extremely excited, and began to pull the fishing rod frantically. In the last days, time has become the most precious thing. It must be efficient and resolute. If you hesitate a little, you may encounter a large number of zombies, be bitten, and eaten. This point, Xiao Zhan realized on the first day of the end of the world. In the dormitory, he saw with his own eyes that hundreds of students downstairs were bitten to death by zombies because of their slow response, infected, and became like zombies. He didn't want to have that kind of experience. Xiao Zhan wrapped a thick layer of books around his body with transparent tape, and made a simple helmet on his head. Then he carried the baseball bat, tiptoed, and walked out cautiously. Dormitory. Although his strength has been greatly improved, he is not yet arrogant enough to run wild in the apocalypse. No one knows whether there are any zombies in the dormitory building. If a group of zombies pop out again, 3 or 5, he can still solve it. If there are more, he will be unable to resist, and will be eaten by the zombies in minutes. Xiao Zhan initially estimated his abilities. For ordinary zombies, 5 should be his limit. Although the strength is strong, the agility is too bad, which makes me have a strong body, but I can't perform it perfectly. I must increase my agility as soon as possible. Xiao Zhan has a very good advantage, that is, no matter what the environment, he can keep a clear mind, quickly analyze his own advantages and disadvantages, and find ways to make up. This kind of advantage is especially precious in the last days. Xiao Zhan walked out of the dormitory and was shocked by the scene in front of him. On the ground, there are stumps and fragments everywhere, clean or unclean bones, heads, pools of sticky blood. Well! A strong smell of blood and foul smell poured into his nose and mouth. Xiao Zhan had a violent nausea and almost vomited, but other than that, he had no other feelings. Before seeing the zombies, he couldn't help feeling horrified, but after binding the god-level fishing system, his courage seemed to have grown a lot, and his endurance became extremely strong. When he killed 5 zombies before, he didn't feel the slightest trepidation, fear, or even any discomfort. Is the same now, except for a little shock, and being disgusted, there is no wave in my heart. Many of the mutilated bodies on the ground are still familiar faces of Xiao Zhan, and even some of his good friends. Looking at these familiar faces with miserable deaths, Xiao Zhan is somewhat sad. After all, these faces have been with him for 2 years. Everyone eats, plays games, and fights together. But Xiao Zhan didn't immerse himself in sorrow too much, because he knew that this was the end of the world. Cruel, unfortunate, and full of blood. He has no ability to care about the life and death of others, or even the right to grieve for others, because it is still unknown whether he can survive. In the last days, the weak are not worthy of mercy. At least, this is the case now. Took a deep breath, maintaining a high degree of vigilance, Xiao Zhan began to search the dormitories carefully. He doesn't want to let go of any chance to obtain constant currency. There may be constant currency in the male dormitory. If you find it, you are lucky. It took a full 4 hours. Xiao Zhanjiang's male dormitory, 6 floors, searched, and encountered 5 waves of zombies during the period. The first 4 waves were okay, and there were only 4 at most, and he easily solved it. NS. In the 5th wave, he met 7 zombies. Fortunately, he had the foresight and took protective measures in advance to withstand the bites of the zombies, and killed 7 zombies in a thrilling manner. Otherwise, he properly died. However, the harvest is also rich. After searching the 6 floors, he found a total of 56 grams of silver and 9 grams of gold, exchanged them, and obtained a total of 146 energy points. Dear host, you now have 146 energy points and you have a fishing opportunity. Do you want to go fishing? The moment Xiao Zhan exchanged silver and gold for energy value, the sound of the system's machinery sounded in his mind. Go fishing. Xiao Zhan did not hesitate to choose fishing. This fishing used a total of 100 energy points and the energy value balance is 46 points. The sound of the system machinery sounded again. A blue light flashed in front of Xiao Zhan's eyes, and the vast ocean appeared in front of Xiao Zhan again, and the sea fishing rod also appeared out of thin air and automatically fell into Xiao Zhan's hands. Xiao Zhan flicked his pole again, and he became excited and nervous again, wondering what he could catch this time. Buzzing! Just like the first time fishing, after a short wait, the buoy suddenly sank, the fishing line was straightened, trembling violently, and the fishing rod was pulled even more bent, almost to a 90-degree angle. Big goods that are better than last time. Feeling the strength of the fish in the water, Xiao Zhan looked happy and started pulling the fishing rod madly. Xiao Zhan, whose strength has been greatly improved, didn't feel much effort this time, and he easily pulled the fish out of the water. Wow! A huge wave aroused, and a 1-meter-long golden grouper jumped out of the water. Successful fishing, get an Alavel Crisis Perception Devil Fruit. With the sound of the system machinery, the golden grouper turned into a golden fruit the size of a baby's fist and fell into Xiao Zhan's hands. At the moment the golden fruit fell into Xiao Zhan's hands, as last time, a translucent information panel appeared in front of Xiao Zhan. Name, Grade A Crisis Perception Devil Fruit Function, Crisis Perception within 10 meters. Way of taking, Oral Crisis Perception within 10 meters? What is this ability? Xiao Zhan was puzzled and stuffed the golden devil fruit into his mouth. This golden devil fruit is softer than the previous devil fruit. As soon as it entered his mouth, before Xiao Zhan could chew it, it turned into juice and flowed down his throat into Xiao Zhan's stomach. This time, he was like Zhu Bag swallowing ginseng fruit. He didn't even taste the taste, so it was over. A few seconds later, Xiao Zhan's body began to get hot. After a while, the fever disappeared, and Xiao Zhan didn't notice any changes in him. Fuck, what is it? Xiao Zhan looked dazed and disappointed. The plot shouldn't be like this. How can you not get any ability? Not right, Yu reading www.yuyuganshu.com must have acquired some ability, but he didn't find it. In other words, what kind of superpower is the crisis perception within this 10-meter range? Is it possible to perceive everything dangerous to him within 10 meters? With doubts, Xiao Zhan sank his heart, moved his mind, and felt the past towards the surroundings. Something magical happened. He doesn't need to see with his eyes, he just uses his mind to perceive, and he can clearly perceive everything within a radius of 10 meters, even the wind and grass. Crack, squeak. 3 meters away, in a dark corner of the balcony, inside a closed bookcase, a mutant mouse with mouth full of fangs, scarlet eyes and rotting all over is eating a human arm. 5 meters away, on the floor of the corridor, a group of maggots were wriggling on a leg bone. 8 meters away, 2 snails are doing shameful things. Fuck, that's it. This ability is so good. Xiao Zhan was extremely excited. The doomsday world is full of zombies. No matter where you go, a group of zombies may come out to attack you and besiege you at any time. It is far from enough to have strong strength. Formidable strength, frontal combat may be able to crush all zombies, but open spears are easy to hide from dark arrows and difficult to defend. If you are walking on the road and suddenly a group of zombies come out to attack you, no matter how powerful you are, as long as there is no guard against the sky, there is no super god, and you are caught off guard, you will probably belch. And this kind of crisis awareness ability can perceive all the dangers within 10 meters without barriers, and even every plant and tree can avoid danger and prevent sneak attacks by zombies. This ability to perceive crises within 10 meters allows me to detect dangers in advance and make preparations, which greatly compensates for my poor agility. It not only improves my survivability, but also reduces my risk of finding a constant currency. And the degree of difficulty. Xiao Zhan is very satisfied with this ability. Prior to this, he was looking for constant currency, and he could only search one place by one place, and encountered 5 waves of zombies, and almost got his life in. And now, with the ability to perceive crisis within 10 meters, he can perceive the presence of zombies in advance, avoid danger, and even use this perception to find constant currency within 10 meters, without having to dig through boxes and cabinets a little bit. NS. It's time to go to the small shop downstairs. The ability to perceive crisis has greatly increased Xiao Zhan's self-confidence. Tsitsizi. Just when Xiao Zhan turned and was about to go downstairs, 10 meters away from him, a zombie snake with a mouth full of fangs approached quietly and quickly, wanting to sneak attack. Boom! Xiao Zhan perceives the crisis ahead of time, and without even looking at it, he swung the baseball bat accurately and exploded the head of the zombie piebald snake. SHHH, thanks to the ability to sense the crisis in time, otherwise I will hang up. Looking at the zombie piebald snake with a length of 2 meters on the ground and the thickness of an adult man's arm, Xiao Zhan couldn't help taking a breath. Such a big snake, if it does not have the ability to perceive the crisis, he will definitely be successfully attacked, most likely to die in Shekau. This time, the apocalyptic world, with me, feels like a back garden. Xiao Zhan became more aware of the benefits of the ability to perceive crisis, and couldn't help grinning, holding the baseball bat in a happy mood, and walked downstairs. How. As soon as Xiao Zhan walked downstairs, a dozen zombies nearby rushed towards him. Although these zombies are very ferocious in their aura, but because of their broken legs and feet, they are slow to act, and they can't pose the slightest threat to Xiao Zhan. Xiao Zhan held the baseball bat and easily solved the dozen zombies. Carefully observe and perceive the surroundings, and confirm that there are no zombies within 100 meters, before Xiao Zhan walked towards the canteen on the first floor. Caution is the boat. Although his strength is not weak now, if he enters the commissary, a large group of zombies pops out to besiege him, he is absolutely dead. When Xiao Zhan walked into the commissary, he found that the door of the commissary was wide open. When broke out in the last days, he clearly saw the commissary owner Fatou Lu escape into the commissary and locked the door from the inside. Fathead Lu escaped or became a zombie. Regardless of the possibility, Fatou Lu is definitely not in the canteen. Dozens of grams of gold just flew like this, which made Xiao Zhan a little disappointed. But it's not a trip in vain, at least there are a lot of food and drink in the canteen. Xiao Zhan was comforting himself. The end of the world came too suddenly, so everyone was infected with the infection. The uninfected fled frantically, looking for shelter, food and water from the canteen, but not much was robbed, and there was still a lot of food and water. Eat and drink first before talking. After eating sashimi for 8 days in a row, Xiao Zhan was almost fading out of his mouth. Now he saw the dazzling array of food and water in the canteen, and his saliva was almost flowing out. After confirming that there is no danger in the canteen, he can't wait to walk inside. Help! Help! Just when Xiao Zhan was about to walk into the canteen, a woman's voice full of fear sounded behind him. Xiao Zhan turned his head and saw a hot figure wearing a uniform in the dormitory building opposite, running out of the corridor in a panic. Behind Dabome, 3 scarlet eyes, pale-faced zombies, spread their teeth and dance claws, like crazy demons, chasing Dabome frantically. Xiao Zhan knows this big girl. The flower of Jiangbei University, Qin Rugzhu. Before the end of the world broke out, the love letters Qin Rugzhu received every day could fill the desk, and the people who chased her could form a strengthened platoon. When he was freshman, Xiao Zhan went on a whim, followed the people in the dormitory to join in the fun, and wrote a love letter to Qin Rugzhu, but it was a pity that he didn't get any reply. Unexpectedly, after the apocalypse broke out, he would be able to meet Qin Rugzhu again. At this time, if he comes to a hero to save the United States, Qin Rugzhu will almost certainly agree with him, right? Seeing Qin Rugzhu's extremely hot figure, Xiao Zhan couldn't help but YY in his heart. But YY belongs to YY, he doesn't have the idea of a hero to save the United States. It's not that he doesn't want to, nor that he is indifferent and ruthless, but that he now has no such ability. Although his strength has been greatly improved, he is only barely able to protect himself from the end of the world. If Qin Rugzhu is saved, he can't let her leave it alone, right? Must take her, protect her, right? In this world full of zombies, carrying a woman without the power of a chicken is completely burdensome, the risk factor will be greatly increased, and the survival factor will be seriously reduced. People are selfish, no one will joke about their life for someone who is unfamiliar or irrelevant. Yu reading www.yuyuganshu.com. Xiao Zhan is the same. So Xiao Zhan only glanced at Qin Rugzhu, then withdrew his gaze, and continued to walk into the canteen. He chose to ignore it. But Qin Rugzhu ran towards him. Help me, please help me, as long as you save me, I am willing to do anything. Qin Rugzhu rushed forward, her face pale, her eyes full of panic, and her tone of voice was full of humble pleading. While speaking, Qin Rugzhu hugged Xiao Zhan's arms with a pair of white jade hands 20 years old, at the age of a wolf like a tiger, full of blood, and he has not even held a girl's hand, this kind of scene, can't hold back at all, and his heart is full of enthusiasm. However, Xiao Zhan did not lose his mind. Female and survival, which is important, he still clearly distinguishes. Ho ho! But just when Xiao Zhan was about to refuse Qin Rugzhu's request, the three zombies jumped up with their teeth and claws. Maybe his meat is more fragrant, and it is even more popular with zombies. These three zombies have actually moved the target and rushed towards him. Now, he won't be able to do anything. Step aside. Xiao Zhan pushed Qin Rugzhu away, picked up the baseball bat, and smashed at the three zombies. Boom! 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 After killing a few waves of zombies, Xiao Zhan's movements were already very proficient. He quickly smashed out 3 sticks and solved the 3 zombies. Thank you for saving me, this classmate. I am talking about it. From now on, I will be your woman. Do what you want to do to me. I will never resist. Qin Rugzhu's eyes were full of gratitude, and the proud mountain peaked, closed his eyes, and looked like he was picking it. You will follow me from now on. Xiao Zhan sighed helplessly. If he left it alone at the beginning, he would not have any psychological burden, but now he has been saved, and he can't bear Qin Rugzhu abandoning himself. In fact, in the Doomsday world, it is also a very good thing to have a beautiful schoolgirl by your side. Xiao Zhan was comforting. Besides, Qin Rugzhu is a schoolgirl, with this appearance, this figure, she must be very beautiful. Xiao Zhan swears that he is just a simple pity for Qin Rugzhu, without any unreasonable thoughts. Forcibly dispelling the YY thought in his mind, Xiao Zhan ignored Qin Rugzhu, turned around, and walked into the canteen on his own. Now is not the time to do bad things. The most important thing is to fill your stomach, bring enough food and water, and find a sturdy and safe refuge. When Xiao Zhan turned around, Qin Rugzhu, who was originally pale and panicked, suddenly showed an evil smile on her face. He took out a sharp dagger from his pocket and pointed it towards the back of Xiao Zhan's head. Stabbed fiercely. Xiao Zhan has the ability to perceive crisis within 10 meters. The moment Qin Rugzhu drew a dagger and stabbed at him, he perceives it. With his body to the side, Xiao Zhan easily escaped Qin Rugzhu's sneak attack. Why are you hurting me? Xiao Zhan looked at Qin Rugzhu coldly. He saved Qin Rugzhu's life, but Qin Rugzhu wanted to kill him. While this made him angry, he also felt very puzzled. You can avoid it. Qin Rugzhu exclaimed. Her dagger is very fast, coupled with the confusion of her beauty, it is easy to let people relax their vigilance. Since the end of the world, she has used this method to attack dozens of people, no one can escape, all of them are recruited. Xiao Zhan was able to avoid it, which made her feel very surprised. Knowing that it is not Xiao Zhan's opponent, Qin Rugzhu quickly backed away more than 10 meters, and distanced himself from Xiao Zhan, and shouted at the dormitory behind him, My husband, this cargo is a bit hard, I can't handle it. Hard goods? Hard goods are good, zombies like hard goods the most. A hoarse male duck voice came out of the hallway of the dormitory. With this voice, a bald man with a big build, a pocky face, and an ugly appearance walked out of the hallway. The left and right hands of the bald man are holding a dog leash, but it is not a dog, but a person, 2 living people. These 2 people crawled on the ground with their hands and feet together, their mouths open, and their tongues stuck out like pugs, constantly pleasing the bald man. The bald man, holding a bag of dog food in his hand, took out a few from time to time and threw it on the ground. The 2 people lying on the ground quickly ate them and even licked the ground clean. Xiao Zhan looked at the bald man, his face sank. This bald man, he knows, his name is Li Jianren. Is very physically sturdy, and is a black belt in Taekwondo. Relying on his own strength, he was still a family member. Before the end of the world broke out, Li Jianren often bullied others. Unexpectedly, after the end of the world broke out, Li Jianren actually survived. Not only did he survive, but his cruelty became even worse, and he even raised the living as a dog. Is not as good as a brute. What Xiao Zhan did not expect was that before the end of the world broke out, the goddess Qin Rugzhu, who was so cold and arrogant, even looked down on the handsome and rich second generation, would actually confuse with Li Jianren. Qin Rugzhu shouted a husband, and the whole person was attached to Li Jianren's body. The two must have a leg. In fact, Xiao Zhan can also understand. Li Jianren is not weak. In the last days, his survivability is stronger than most people. Qin Rugzhu depends on Li Jianren and seeks shelter. This is a very wise choice. What makes Xiao Zhan angry is that he has no grievances with these two people, and the two people actually conspired against him. Tisk, it's white and tender, it's a good product, zombies like this kind of fresh meat the most. Li Jianren looked at Xiao Zhan with extremely hot eyes. Qin Rugzhu snuggled in Li Jianren's arms and reminded, "Be careful, my husband, this kid is very powerful and not easy to deal with. No matter how great, I can still be great. Help me lead the dog and watch me cut this little with a single knife." Li Jianren looked disdainful, and handed the dog leash to Qin Rugzhu, taking it from his waist. A 1-meter-long machete slashed towards Xiao Zhan. Looking for death. Xiao Zhan's face suddenly chilled, his eyes full of killing intent, and the baseball bat in his hand jerked out. He didn't want to kill someone, but if someone wanted to die, he didn't mind sending it off. Boom! With a loud noise, the machete in Li Jianren's hand was directly smashed into two pieces by the baseball bat. The speed of the baseball bat did not slow down and landed on Li Jianren's head. Boom! There was another loud noise. Li Jianren's head exploded like a ripe watermelon, his blood was splashed, and his body crashed to the ground, and he couldn't die again. "Say, why are you hurting me?" After killed Li Jianren, Xiao Zhan rushed to Qin Rugzhu's side. Yu reading www.yuyuganshu.com reached out and pinched Qin Rugzhu's neck. Xiao Zhan forcefully killed Li Jianren. Qin Rugzhu was so scared that Warong was pale, full of fear, and now he was pinched by Xiao Zhan's neck, the cold death breath. It was even more frightened that his legs became weak and his whole body was trembling. Urine came out. Did not dare to conceal the slightest, Qin Rugzhu honestly explained. As for the two dogs raised by Li Jianren, seeing Li Jianren being killed, they got up from the ground and ran, faster than the rabbits, and disappeared in the blink of an eye. After listening to Qin Rugzhu's explanation, Xiao Zhan's face became even colder, and he couldn't help but burst out in rage. The two beasts, Li Jianren and Qin Rugzhu, conspired to kill the survivors in order to occupy food and fresh water resources. He is not the first person to be murdered by Li Jianren and Qin Rugzhu's conspiracy. Before him, just by being stabbed in the back by Qin Rugzhu, there were 39 survivors who died tragically. These two beasts still use living people to raise zombies. If they encounter a large number of survivors that cannot be dealt with, these two beasts will put the zombies to besiege the survivors. The reason why the number of zombies in the school has decreased greatly is that these two beasts were attracted to the school library and raised in captivity. Not only that, the two beasts also enslaved a dozen survivors, for them to call and have fun. Beast behavior is simply outrageous. I have said everything that should be said, please don't kill me. As long as you don't kill me, I am willing to be your woman for your enjoyment. Qin Rugzhu trembled and begged for mercy. You are not worthy of being my woman. Xiao Zhan's eyes were cold, and he began to exert force on his hands to end Qin Rugzhu's life. Although he is not a good person, he encountered this kind of beast, and he saw one kill one. No! Don't kill me! Qin Rugzhu paled with fright, and a large area of her pants was wet in an instant, and she was scared to pee. Don't kill me, aren't you looking for food and water? The food and water in the canteen can only support you to survive for a month at most. Li Jianren stored a lot of food and water. locked it with a combination lock. Those food and water are enough for you to eat for 3 years. Li Jianren is dead. Only I know the password. As long as you don't kill me, I will tell you the password. Enough food and water for 3 years. Xiao Zhan squeezed Qin Ruxu's hand, and his heart moved a little. The end of the world is coming, a lot of food and water are contaminated, and the food and water that can be eaten is very small, and it is not renewable. Sufficient food and water are the basic conditions for survival in the end of the world. Although the god-level fishing system can also fish for food and water, it is entirely by chance. Xiao Zhan has fished twice, and he has not caught a little food and water. I don't know that food and water can be fished only after the year of the monkey. Before there is sufficient energy value, relying on the god-level fishing system to obtain food and water is completely unreliable. Therefore, he still has to find enough food and water in the real world. After thinking about it, Xiao Zhan loosened Qin Ruxu's neck and said coldly, "Take me over and see." Zombie. Ahem, come with me. Qin Ruxu squatted on the ground, rubbing her neck and coughing for a long time before relieving. She got up from the ground and led Xiao Zhan to the library not far away. As soon as he walked into the library, Qin Ruxu had a vicious smirk on her face, and Xiao Zhan did not notice this vicious smirk. Qin Ruxu led Xiao Zhan to the negative first floor of the library, pointed to a closed thick iron gate, and said, "That's it. The food and water that Li Jianren found is hidden in this warehouse. The password is A8B7C3. You come on." Xiao Zhan asked Qin Ruxu to open the code lock. He distrusted Qin Ruxu very much, and was afraid that Qin Ruxu would play tricks on him. "It is good." Qin Ruxu did not resist at all, walked up obediently, and began to enter the password. Squeak! Enter the 6-digit code, and the heavy iron door opens in response. "You go in first." Xiao Zhan still maintains a high degree of vigilance. Qin Ruxu still did not resist, and walked into the warehouse obediently. Xiao Zhan held the baseball bat tightly in his hand and followed Qin Ruxu behind him. When Xiao Zhan walked into the warehouse, it was because he was mentally prepared. He was still shocked by the scene before him and said arrived. What did he see? There is a 300 square meter warehouse full of food and water. Hill-like rice noodles, oil and fresh water, various puffed foods, bread, instant noodles, canned fruits, canned beef, barrels of chocolate, and even fresh vegetables, pork, lamb, beef. There is a wide variety of varieties. Li Jianren is really a talent. Xiao Zhan couldn't help but exclaimed. The end of the world broke out, the entire world was polluted by meteor showers, zombies were running around, food and fresh water resources were in short supply, and other survivors could hardly get a bite to the sky. For example, he, relying on a tank of goldfish, barely survived 8. God, if he hadn't obtained the god-level fishing system in time, he would have been belching now. When others couldn't even save their lives, Li Jianren had already obtained so much food and fresh water. If it hadn't been for this cruel stubbornness of him, Li Jianren would live a very happy life in the last days, but unfortunately, in the end these food and fresh water were made for him as a wedding dress. These food and water can support my survival for a long time. Xiao Zhan is very excited. Without the trouble of food and water, he can devote all his energy to finding constant currency. Food and water are the basic conditions for survival in the last days. And powerful strength is the core key to survival in the last days. Without strong strength, no matter how much food and water he has, one day he will be bitten to death by a zombie. If you want to gain enough strength, you need to find enough constant currency, exchange energy value, and go fishing. Xiao Zhan's goal is very clear: find a constant currency, exchange energy values, fish, and fish again. You can go now. Xiao Zhan waved his hand to signal Qin Ruxu to leave. Although he is not a gentleman, he does not like to break his promise, even in the last days. Since he promised Rao Qin Ruxu's life, he would never kill Qin Rugzhu again. But for a while, he didn't hear Qin Rugzhu leaving. Xiao Zhan looked back suspiciously and found that Qin Rugzhu was looking at him with a smile, pressing a hand on a red button on the wall. No, this woman wants to harm me. Xiao Zhan, who has the ability to sense crisis, immediately felt the sense of crisis coming from under his feet. He quickly ducked to one side, but it was too late. Click! The ground under his feet suddenly cracked, and a large black hole appeared. Boom! Under the action of gravity, there was nothing to support around. Xiao Zhan undoubtedly fell into the hole. Fight with me, you are a bit too tender. Qin Rugzhu sneered at the entrance of the cave, and pressed the red button again to close the entrance again. Then, this woman walked out of the warehouse, walked out of the negative first floor, and walked towards the negative second floor, where hundreds of zombies were kept in captivity. Ahem! Xiao Zhan, who fell into the trap, threw up a large cloud of dust, which stimulated him to cough violently. Nima, Qin Rugzhu, you wait for me, when I go out, I will kill you. Xiao Zhan scolded, he regretted not killing Qin Rugzhu in time. At this time, he finally discovered that what promises and morals are all nonsense in the last days. The last days, this disaster completely exposed the gloom of human nature. You save others, tolerate others, and forgive others. It is very difficult for others to appreciate you, but it is very likely to cheat you. In the last days, human nature is bullshit, living is the most important thing. If you can get out from here, Xiao Zhan swears that he will never be kind to anyone again, and he will definitely kill anyone who wants to harm him. Now that it doesn't make sense to think about it, let's see how to get out first. Took a deep breath and calmed himself down, Xiao Zhan began to observe the surrounding environment. The trap is dark and dark, but it is still difficult to see the surrounding environment clearly. This is a circular pit with a diameter of about 3 meters and a height of 10 meters. The wall is polished so smooth that it is impossible to climb up. Do I really want to be trapped here to die? Xiao Zhan looked sad. Win the big prize of 100 million yuan, just redeemed the prize, the end of the world reward, a few sacks of banknotes turned into waste paper, and now they have just been hanged by the gods. Yu reading www.yuuganchu.com is going to hang up. Is God true to him? Is really hate, it's almost the same. Crack! Just as Xiao Zhan was reminding him of sadness, a crack suddenly appeared on the cave wall. The cracks are getting bigger and bigger, and there is light coming in from outside. Xiao Zhan was startled, and looked out through the crack, and found that there was a row of upward stairs outside the crack. Xiao Zhan maintained a high degree of vigilance, tiptoeing, carefully walking up the stairs, and actually walked to the second floor underground. Haha, the sky is endless. Qin Rugzhu, you can't even think of it in your dreams, can I get out of the trap? Xiao Zhan, who had regained his life, was very happy. He was going to seek revenge from Qin Rugzhu. But soon he realized a problem. No, how can there be a door in the trap? And I didn't touch the door, how could the door open by itself? This is another trap. Xiao Zhan suddenly woke up. Squeak! At this moment, the door of a room not far away opened. How. There was a roar in the room. Along with the roar, a dense number of zombies emerged in the room. According to preliminary estimates, there were at least hundreds of them. Xiao Zhan, enjoy the zombie feast I prepared for you. On the second floor of the underground, in a room, Qin Rugzhu smiled darkly. One wall in the room is equipped with a one-way glass. Through this one-way glass, Qin Rugzhu can clearly see Xiao Zhan's every move. How. More and more zombies emerged from the room, more than 100, at least 200. The densely packed zombies roared in excitement, and rushed towards Xiao Zhan with teeth and claws. Fuck! Xiao Zhan was all hairy and his pants were almost scared off. Run! Without any hesitation, Xiao Zhan ran away. With his current strength, he can fight 5 zombies at most. How can he fight with 200 zombies? Not running is definitely a dead end. While running, Xiao Zhan greeted Qin Ruxu's 18th generation ancestors in his heart. This woman is so vicious that she released hundreds of zombies to bite him. Qin Ruxu, if I can escape here alive, I will definitely kill you. Xiao Zhan gritted his teeth and exerted all his energy, running towards the corridor like a 100 meter sprint. 20 meters. 10 meters. 5 meters. 3 meters. Soon. Is 2 meters left. As long as he runs into the corridor and closes the corridor door, he can escape to death. But when Xiao Zhan ran to the entrance of the corridor, he found that the corridor door was locked and could not be opened at all. It's over. Am I really going to die here? Looking at the densely packed zombies that are getting closer and closer to him, Xiao Zhan's scalp is numb, and despair grows in his heart. No, I just got to hang up against the gods, and I haven't gotten good enough yet. How can I die? I can't die. Xiao Zhan's heart burst out with a strong desire to survive. His brain cells are running fast, observing the surrounding environment, thinking about ways to escape. That is. Xiao Zhan's gaze suddenly froze at a place 5 meters away from him. There is a corpse that has been chewed up to the extent that only bones remain. A golden necklace hung around the neck of the corpse. This golden necklace is exactly the same as the necklace hung on the neck of Fatou Lu, the owner of the commissary downstairs in the boys' dormitory. Fatou Lu. With the necklace and the vague body shape of the corpse, Xiao Zhan quickly recognized that the corpse was Fathead Lu. No wonder, he couldn't find Fat Tou Lu. It turned out that Fat Tou Lu died here. Most of them were killed by Li Jianren and Qin Ruxu. However, now Xiao Zhan has no mind to think about how Fathead Lu died. All his attention is focused on the necklace around Fathead Lu's neck. The necklace is gold, and it is at least 20 grams visually. As long as he gets the gold necklace, he can exchange enough energy value to get fishing opportunities, and he can fish at least twice. Although, what he fished may not be able to deal with hundreds of zombies, but this is his only hope for survival. But the zombies are closer to Fatou Lu's body, only less than 3 meters away. This is very risky, and he only has one chance. If he can't get the gold necklace, or after getting the gold necklace, he can't catch a good thing that can effectively kill a large number of zombies, he will undoubtedly die. Fight! Without any hesitation, Xiao Zhan gritted his teeth and rushed towards Fathead Lu's body. He has no retreat, this is his only choice. If you don't fight, you will die. If you fight, there is still a chance of life, so Xiao Zhan chose to fight. 4 meters. 3 meters. 2 meters. 1 meter. Xiao Zhan's speed is extremely fast, but the speed of the zombies is not too slow. Just when Xiao Zhan was 1 meter away from Fatou Lu's body, the first wave of zombies had already stepped on Fatou Lu's body and bit towards Xiao Zhan. Boom! 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 Xiao Zhan swung 3 baseball bats one after another, smashing the heads of 3 zombies. The 3 zombies that exploded their heads fell to the ground and tripped over a large group of zombies, ushering in a second for Xiao Zhan. 1 second is enough. Xiao Zhan took a stride, rushed to Fatou Lu's corpse, shot at lightning speed, tore off the gold necklace on Fatou Lu's neck, and then ran back. It is detected that the host has harvested 23 grams of gold, which can be exchanged for a total of 230 energy points. Do you want to redeem it? The moment the golden necklace started, the sound of the system's machinery sounded in Xiao Zhan's mind. Redeem. Xiao Zhan did not hesitate at all and chose to redeem. Exchange successful. Dear host, you now have a total of 276 energy points and can fish twice. Do you want to fish? The mechanical voice sounded again. Go fishing. This fishing consumes 100 energy points in total, and the energy value balance is 176 points. In preparation for fishing, fishing is ready, you can start fishing. A blue light flashed in front of Xiao Zhan's eyes, and the vast ocean reappeared in front of Xiao Zhan. The sea fishing rod appeared out of thin air and fell into Xiao Zhan's hands. Of course, only Xiao Zhan could see this, and no one else could see it. Arrive! Xiao Zhan quickly threw the bar. Buzzing! Maybe I felt Xiao Zhan's crisis. This time, the speed of fishing was much faster than the previous 2 times. As soon as the hook fell into the water, the fish caught the bait. A yellowfin tuna long enough for 1 meter was pulled ashore by Xiao Zhan. Successful fishing, congratulations to the host for obtaining a great agile devil fruit. With the sound of the system machinery, the yellowfin tuna turned into a yellow fruit the size of a baby's fist and fell into Xiao Zhan's hands. An information panel appeared above the yellow fruit name, Great Agile Devil Fruit Function, Increase Agility Point by 30 Way of Taking, Oral System, Fishing Again. Xiao Zhan put the yellow fruit into his mouth while preparing for the second fishing. The agility point is the increase he always wanted, but the 30 agility increase can at most allow him to deal with a dozen zombies, which is already the maximum limit, and can't deal with hundreds of zombies at all, so Xiao Zhan can only choose to fish again. This fishing used a total of 100 energy points and the energy value balance was 76 points. This time, Yu reading www.yuyugonshu.com must catch the bullshit, otherwise I will belch. Xiao Zhan prayed in his heart and started fishing for the second time. Buzzing! The second fishing speed was also very fast. Almost in the blink of an eye, a 3-meter-long golden shark was pulled ashore by Xiao Zhan. What a big shark! Xiao Zhan was extremely excited. In the last 3 fishing, the largest fish caught was only 1 meter, but this time it was 3 meters, which is definitely something of a cow. And when Xiao Zhan fished the golden shark ashore, the dense zombies also chased him up, less than half a meter away from Xiao Zhan. Xiao Zhan had already ran to the entrance of the corridor, unable to retreat, and entered a desperate situation. How close is the distance of half a meter? In the blink of an eye, more than a dozen zombies rushed up with their teeth and claws, trying to eat Xiao Zhan. Successful fishing, congratulations to the host for getting 500 rounds of AK-47 Fire Unicorn. At the same time, the 3-meter-long golden shark turned into a golden fruit the size of a baby's fist and fell into Xiao Zhan's hands. The information panel immediately appeared. Name, AK-47 Fire Kirin gun weight, 5 kg gun length, 950 mm ammunition capacity, 500 rounds effective range, 500 m rate of fire, 1000 BPM killing effect, 100% accurate shooting within 10 meters. How to use: crush the devil fruit to get note, the ammunition capacity cannot be replenished manually. It is refreshed every 24 hours by the system and filled up automatically. What sound? Was pushing his butt, pulling the corpse of the zombie, looking for a constant currency. Xiao Zhan heard the roar, his breath suddenly suffocated, and looked very vigilantly in the direction where the roar came from. The ground trembled violently, as if something terrifying was hitting the ground, making a harsh sound. And this voice is getting closer and closer to Xiao Zhan. Xiao Zhan's face condensed, his body bowed, he clenched the AK-47 Fire Unicorn tightly, and aimed at the direction of the sound. Roar! After a while, the green monster rushed out of the corner corridor and rushed towards Xiao Zhan. Looking at the 2-meter tall green monster as strong as a titan, Xiao Zhan was taken aback. Without hesitation, he pulled the trigger directly. Abruptly the bullet shot at the green monster like a fire snake. Boom! 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 One by one bullets hit the green monster's head without deviation, but a strange scene happened and the bullets were bounced out. Fuck, what kind of monster is this? Xiao Zhan's scalp was numb, and he was terrified. AK-47 Fire Kylan's bullets have extremely strong penetrating power, penetrating the head of an ordinary zombie is as easy as penetrating tofu, and it can't hurt this green monster at all. Run! Xiao Zhan didn't hesitate, and ran to the entrance of the corridor with a flash, and the AK-47 Fire Unicorn aimed at the entrance of the corridor and shot. The green monster's defensive ability is too strong. The AK-47 Fire Unicorn can't hurt it at all. It can't fight at all. If it doesn't run, there is only a dead end. Bang bang bang! Xiao Zhan fired all the bullets and finally shot through the corridor door. Boom! Xiao Zhan kicked open the corridor door and ran into the corridor. But he just ran a step, a green shadow flashed in front of him, and the huge body of the green monster pulled out a green afterimage in the corridor. It was originally 20 meters away from him. In the blink of an eye, this green monster came to him. Fuck, so fast! Teleport? Isn't this the Hulk in the zombie game? Xiao Zhan's face changed wildly, and he finally recognized that this green monster was almost exactly the same as the Hulk in a zombie game he liked to play. This is a mutant zombie. In the real world, how can there be such mutant zombies? Is the apocalyptic outbreak related to that zombie game? Xiao Zhan couldn't help thinking. However, he didn't have time to think more. The Hulk's punch-bag-sized fist slammed into his head. The Hulk's speed was too fast, Xiao Zhan had no time to escape. In a panic, he could only use the AK-47 Fire Unicorn to resist the punch of the green monster. Click! The extremely hard AK-47 Fire Unicorn gun body was smashed into 2 pieces by the Hulk, and Xiao Zhan was also smashed and flew 7 or 8 meters away. Xiao Zhan fell badly, his eyes were staring at gold stars, he could not get up from the ground. The Hulk pulled out an afterimage in the corridor, and came to his side. The huge fist turned towards him again, smashed his head. Xiao Zhan rolled on a donkey on the spot, and escaped the Hulk's punch dangerously. Boom! The Hulk's fist hit the concrete ground, directly smashing the ground out of a big hole. Hi, what a terrifying power! If this punch hits my head will definitely explode like a watermelon. Xiao Zhan couldn't help but took a breath, got up from the ground and ran. But as soon as he ran 2 steps, the Hulk caught up again. It's no way to go on like this. This Hulk is too fast. If this goes on, I must be overtaken by him and killed. After evading the Hulk's 5 punches in an embarrassing manner, Xiao Zhan was panting. He was almost out of strength and could not run. What should I do? You must think of a way to escape, you can't run like this anymore. Xiao Zhan avoided the Hulk's pursuit, while his brain cells were turning quickly. Boom! Accidentally, he was tripped to the ground by the corpse of a zombie. Roar! At the same time, the Hulk roared wildly, swinging a huge fist and smashing his head down. Xiao Zhan pulled the ground with both hands, and backed away in a panic. Well, what is this? Suddenly, his hand caught a stiff strip. At the same time, the sound of the system machinery sounded in his mind. Congratulations to the host for harvesting a piece of gold brick, which weighs 116 grams, and can be exchanged for 1160 energy points. Would you like to exchange it? Brick. Xiao Zhan looked down and found that what he was holding in his hand was indeed a gold brick. This made him ecstatic. A 116 grams gold brick can be exchanged for 1160 energy points plus the remaining 76 energy points. Before, he can get 12 fishing opportunities. In front, he only fished 3 times, and the harvest is so huge, 12 times, he can definitely catch something that kills the green giant. Exchange, exchange. Without any hesitation, Xiao Zhan exclaimed excitedly. Exchange successful. Dear host, you have gained a total of 1160 energy points this time, and the current total energy value is 1236 points. The mechanical voice rang in Xiao Zhan's mind. Fishing, fishing. Without waiting for the system to finish, Xiao Zhan couldn't wait to shout with thoughts. The fist of the green giant is less than 1 meter away from him. He has no time. But this time, he did not get a response from the system. The system suddenly stopped sounding and fell into silence. What's the situation? Fishing, fishing. Brother Tube, I want to fish. Brother Tube, are you still there? Xiao Zhan looked dumbfounded and used his mind to communicate with the system eagerly, but he couldn't get the slightest response at all. The system seemed to have disappeared out of thin air. Brother Tongzi. It's over. Brother Tongzi, abandon me. Looking at the fist of the Hulk who is more than half a meter away from him, Yu read www.yuyuganshu.com. Xiao Zhan's heart was desperate, and he almost cried. What about true love? What if you say good things are always with you? Just abandon me like that? Nima. It seems that in the last days, not only people lose their humanity, but even their systems lose their integrity. They are like an unfamiliar witty-eyed wolf who eats so much gold from him. Xiao Zhan was extremely indignant, and began to greet the system's 18th generation ancestors. At this moment, his head suddenly stabbed. Accompanied by the tingling pain is the darkness of consciousness. In an instant, Xiao Zhan felt his consciousness had entered an abyss of endless darkness, completely lost and perished. But very quickly, only about a tenth of a second, the sting disappeared, and Xiao Zhan's consciousness recovered. At this time, the voice of the system sounded in his mind again. God-level fishing system 2.0 has been successfully upgraded. Normal use is restored, dear host, you can now start fishing. Brother Tongzi, so you are still there. I thought you abandoned me. Where did you go? I miss you. Hearing the voice of the system again, Xiao Zhan suddenly burst into tears, wishing to hold the system to dedicate his original first kiss that he had preserved for 20 years. Oh? Really? I just wanted to hear someone scolding my ancestor. The sound of the system is a bit cold. Ahem, do you? No. Don't pay attention to these details. Xiao Zhan was very embarrassed. He just cursed the system a few words in his heart, and didn't say anything. He didn't expect the system to know that this kind of perception, really better than detection radar. It seems that he will converge a little in the future. Shocked, Xiao Zhan's face turned straight and eagerly said, Brother Tong, what the is this system upgrade version 2.0? Explain to me quickly, and I want to go fishing, right away, right away. The Hulk's fist, which is bigger than a sandbag, is about to hit him in the face. If he doesn't go fishing, he will be dead. While preparing for the fishing scene, the system quickly explained, Dear host, since your energy value has exceeded 1000 points, you have reached the upgrade conditions for the God-level fishing system, so the God-level fishing system has been upgraded independently. The upgraded God-level fishing system has more types of items that can be fished and more comprehensive, and the harvest every time you fish will be greater. However, the energy points consumed each time you fish have also been increased from 100 points to 1000 points. After the system is upgraded to version 2.0, a new store function is added. The fishing items with the original 100 energy level will no longer appear in the fishing sea area, and will automatically move to the system store. The host can purchase it in the system store. The God-level fishing system has an automatic upgrade function. Whenever the host's energy value increases by 1 digit, the God-level fishing system will automatically upgrade. The next upgrade point, 10,000 energy points. Finally, it is recommended that the host does not purchase items in the system shop first. The Hulk belongs to the Alavel mutant zombies. The items produced by the system version 1.0 cannot kill the Alavel mutant zombies. The upgraded system version 2.0 will fish in the sea. Items have a chance to kill A-class mutant zombies. Now, the host chooses to go fishing or enter the store to buy goods. When the system finishes the last sentence, the fishing scene is also ready, and a brand new fishing area appears in front of Xiao Zhan. The upgraded version 2.0, the fishing area is wider than the original, and it is truly endless. There are more types of fish in the sea, and the size of the fish is larger. The fishing rod and line are thicker than before, and the hook is also larger. Go fishing! Xiao Zhan said without hesitation. After quickly learning about the system version 2.0, he didn't have time to analyze the pros and cons, because the Hulk's fist was less than 10 centimeters away from his head. Whether it is fishing or going to a shop to buy goods, he has only one chance to make a shot. Since the system has said that the things in the shop cannot kill the Hulk, he can only take a risk, give it a try, and go fishing. This fishing consumes a total of 1000 energy points, and the energy value balance is 236 points. Dear host, you can start fishing. The sound of the system fell, and Xiao Zhan couldn't wait to throw the fishing rod into the sea in front of him. Buzzing! There was a violent vibrato. Almost in the blink of an eye, the buoy sank suddenly, the fishing line was pulled straight, and the fishing rod bent into a 30-degree angle. An extremely huge pulling force came from the sea, and Xiao Zhan almost couldn't control the fish. The rod was pulled into the water. Xiao Zhan used all his strength before reluctantly pulling the cargo ashore. Wow! The huge splash of water aroused like a huge wave. A black batfish that was 8 meters long jumped out of the water. Successful fishing, congratulations to the host, get a Blevel superhero transformed into a devil fruit. Along with the sound of the system machinery, a black batfish, a black devil fruit the size of a baby's fist, fell into Xiao Zhan's palm. At the same time, a translucent information panel appeared in front of Xiao Zhan's eyes. Name, Blevel superhero transformed into devil fruit function. After taking it, you can transform into a Blevel superhero for 1 hour usage. Oral superhero transformation? You can even catch this stuff? The upgraded version 2.0 of the God level fishing system is great. Xiao Zhan was very shocked, and he admired him. Before he had time to think more deeply, he put the black devil fruit into his mouth as quickly as possible. At this moment, the Hulk's fist is less than 5 centimeters away from his head. The black devil fruit melted in the mouth, turned into a smooth juice, and flowed into Xiao Zhan's stomach along the throat. Buzzing! The moment the juice entered Xiao Zhan's stomach, Xiao Zhan's blood was like boiling water, and it boiled violently, and black light burst out from his body, and his body swelled at a speed visible to the naked eye. Just in the blink of an eye, he grew to 2.5 meters tall, a head taller than the Hulk. And the muscles on his body are bigger than those of the Hulk, like a pile of boulders, a vivid image of a titan. Successful transformation, congratulations to the host for transforming into a super savior. Super savior, extracted from the superhero savior in the CF savior mode of the game. With the blessing of the God level fishing system, all the guns and armor attributes of the super savior have been tripled, and the strength and agility have been increased by 5 times. Super savior mode is now activated, the time limit is 1 hour, now enter the countdown mode. Fuck, savior! Xiao Zhan couldn't help but exclaimed. CF game, savior mode, the savior is the most powerful existence in the battlefield, a FAL custom, with 2 modes of machine gun and grenade, you can freely switch modes. There are 3 magazines for machine guns, each with 120 rounds of ammunition, a total of 360 rounds, the damage to zombies is several times that of ordinary guns. Grenades are also 3 magazines, each with 3 rounds, a total of 12 rounds, the damage to the zombies is even greater, 1 shot and 1 jelly bean. The savior himself has a biochemical armor that can prevent zombies from scratching. In addition, the savior's power and speed are much stronger than other characters, and he can even single-handedly pick zombies. Unexpectedly, God-level fishing can catch such awesome things. Moreover, the super savior who has been blessed by the God-level fishing system is even more awesome. The guns have tripled attributes, and the machine gun mode has become 9 magazines, 1080 rounds of bullets. Grenade mode, 9 magazines, 36 rounds of grenade. The armor attributes are tripled, and there are 3 layers of biochemical armor that can prevent zombies from scratching. Strength and agility, 5 times stronger. This increase in strength and agility is not the enhancement of Xiao Zhan's own strength and agility, so it is unrealistic on the personal information panel, and he cannot calculate it. At this moment, he just feels that his whole body has inexhaustible power, and his power has increased by at least 10 times. Moreover, the original Hulk's lightning speed, Yu reading www.yuyuganshu.com, turned out to be slow, like a turtle crawling. The speed is mutual. If a person who is fast meets a person who is faster, the speed will be extremely slow. The current Xiao Zhan is the faster person. Boom! At the moment Xiao Zhan's transformation was successful, a fist as big as a Hulk sandbag hit Xiao Zhan's head. There was a loud noise. Xiao Zhan's head was not harmed at all, while the Hulk was shocked and flew 7 or 8 meters away, extremely embarrassed. Click! The first layer of biochemical armor on Xiao Zhan's forehead cracked, but it didn't crack in the end. Hulk's punch cannot break even the biochemical armor on Xiao Zhan's body. Have you played enough? Now it's me. Xiao Zhan twisted his neck, stepped on the ground with his feet, and shot towards the Hulk like lightning. The distance of 7 or 8 meters. Just a blink of an eye, Xiao Zhan passed over and came to the Hulk's side. Roar! The Hulk roared, raised a pair of iron fists and smashed it towards Xiao Zhan. However, as soon as the Hulk's fist was raised, Xiao Zhan hit his head with a punch. Boom! Half of the Hulk's head exploded, and he flew upside down for a full 10 meters. Xiao Zhan, who has turned into a super savior, is so terrifying with a punch. Roar! The Hulk shook the remaining half of his head, got up from the ground, and rushed towards Xiao Zhan again, without any reduction in speed. Fuck, what a perverted vitality! Xiao Zhan couldn't help but exclaimed. If you change to a normal zombie, and his head is half blown, he will belch in an instant, but the Hulk has nothing to do with us.